chapters 9 through 14 of Hosea, American Standard Version. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information and to find out how you can volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Sam Stinson. Chapter 9. Rejoice not, O Israel, for joy like the peoples. For thou hast played the harlot, departing from thy God. Thou hast loved hire upon every grain floor. The threshing floor and the winepress shall not feed them, and the new wine shall fail her. They shall not dwell in Jehovah's land, but Ephraim shall return to Egypt, and they shall eat unclean food in Assyria. They shall not pour out wine offerings to Jehovah, neither shall they be pleasing unto him. Their sacrifices shall be unto them as the bread of mourners. All that eat thereof shall be polluted, for their bread shall be for their appetite. It shall not come into the house of Jehovah. What will ye do in the day of solemn assembly, and in the day of the feast of Jehovah? For lo, they are gone away from destruction. Yet Egypt shall gather them up, Memphis shall bury them. Their pleasant things of silver, nettles shall possess them, thorns shall be in their tents. The days of visitation are come, the days of recompense are come. Israel shall know it. The prophet is a fool, the man that hath the spirit is mad, for the abundance of thine iniquity, and because the enmity is great. Ephraim was a watchman with my God. As for the prophet, a fowler's snare is in all his ways, and enmity in the house of his God. They have deeply corrupted themselves, as in the days of Gibeah. He will remember their iniquity. He will visit their sins. I found Israel like grapes in the wilderness. I saw your fathers as the first ripe in the fig tree at its first season. But they came to Baal Peor, and consecrated themselves unto the shameful thing, and became abominable like that which they loved. As for Ephraim, their glory shall fly away like a bird. There shall be no birth, and none with child, and no conception. Though they bring up their children, yet will I bereave them, so that not a man shall be left. Yea, woe also to them when I depart from them. Ephraim, like as I have seen Tyre, is planted in a pleasant place. But Ephraim shall bring out his children to the slayer. Give them, O Jehovah, what wilt thou give? Give them a miscarrying womb and dry breasts. All their wickedness is in Gilgal, for there I hated them because of the wickedness of their doings. I will drive them out of my house. I will love them no more. All their princes are revolters. Ephraim is smitten. Their root is dried up. They shall bear no fruit. Yea, though they bring forth, yet will I slay the beloved fruit of their womb. My God will cast them away, because they did not hearken unto him, and they shall be wanderers among the nations. End of chapter 9. Chapter 10. Israel is a luxuriant vine, that putteth forth his fruit. According to the abundance of his fruit he hath multiplied his altars. According to the goodness of their land they have made goodly pillars. Their heart is divided. Now shall they be found guilty. He will smite their altars. He will destroy their pillars. Surely now shall they say, We have no king, for we fear not Jehovah. And the king, what can he do for us? They speak vain words, swearing falsely and making covenants. Therefore judgment springeth up as hemlock in the furrows of the field. The inhabitants of Samaria shall be in terror for the calves of Bethaven, for the people thereof shall mourn over it, and the priests thereof that rejoiced over it, for the glory thereof, because it is departed from it. It also shall be carried unto Assyria for a present to King Jareb. Ephraim shall receive shame, and Israel shall be ashamed of his own counsel. As for Samaria, her king is cut off, as foam upon the water. The high places also of Avon, the sin of Israel, shall be destroyed. The thorn and the thistle shall come up on their altars, and they shall say to the mountains, Cover us, and to the hills, Fall on us. O Israel, thou hast sinned from the days of Gibeah. There they stood, the battle against the children of iniquity doth not overtake them in Gibeah. When it is my desire, I will chastise them, and the peoples shall be gathered against them, when they are bound to their two transgressions. And Ephraim is a heifer that is taught, that loveth to tread out the grain. But I have passed over upon her fair neck. I will set a rider on Ephraim. Judah shall plow. Jacob shall break his clods. Sow to yourselves in righteousness. Reap according to kindness. Break up your fallow ground, for it is time to seek Jehovah, till he come and rain righteousness upon you. Ye have plowed wickedness, ye have reaped iniquity, ye have eaten the fruit of lies. For thou didst trust in thy way, and the multitude of thy mighty men. Therefore shall a tumult arise among thy people, and all thy fortresses shall be destroyed, as Shalman destroyed Beth Arbel in the day of battle. The mother was dashed in pieces with her children. So shall Bethel do unto you, because of your great wickedness. At daybreak shall the king of Israel be utterly cut off. End of chapter 10. Chapter 11. When Israel was a child, then I loved him, and called my son out of Egypt. The more the prophets called them, the more they went from them. They sacrificed unto the Baalim, and burned incense to graven images. Yet I taught Ephraim to walk. I took them on my arms, but they knew not that I healed them. I drew them with cords of a man, with bands of love. And I was to them as they that lift up the yoke on their jaws, and I laid food before them. They shall not return into the land of Egypt, but the Assyrian shall be their king, because they refuse to return to me. And the sword shall fall upon their cities, and shall consume their bars, and devour them, because of their own counsels. And my people are bent on backsliding from me, though they call them to him that is on high. None at all will exalt him. How shall I give thee up, Ephraim? How shall I cast thee off, Israel? How shall I make thee as Admah? How shall I set thee as Zeboim? My heart is turned within me. My compassions are kindled together. I will not execute the fierceness of mine anger. I will not return to destroy Ephraim, for I am God and not man, the Holy One in the midst of thee, and I will not come in wrath. They shall walk after Jehovah, who will roar like a lion, for he will roar. And the children shall come trembling from the west. They shall come trembling as a bird out of Egypt, and as a dove out of the land of Assyria. And I will make them to dwell in their houses, saith Jehovah. Ephraim compasseth me about with falsehood, and the house of Israel with deceit. But Judah yet ruleth with God, and is faithful with the Holy One. End of chapter 11. Chapter 12. Ephraim feedeth on wind, and followeth after the east wind. He continually multiplieth lies and desolation. And they make a covenant with Assyria, and oil is carried into Egypt. Jehovah hath also a controversy with Judah, and will punish Jacob according to his ways. According to his doings will he recompense him. In the womb he took his brother by the heel, and in his manhood he power with God. Yea, he had power over the angel, and prevailed. He wept, and made supplication unto him. He found him at Bethel, and there he spake with us, even Jehovah, the God of hosts. Jehovah is his memorial name. Therefore turn thou to thy God. Keep kindness and justice, and wait for thy God continually. He is a trafficker The balances of deceit are in his hand. He loveth to oppress. And Ephraim said, Surely I am become rich. I have found me wealth. And all my labors they shall find in me no iniquity that were sin. But I am Jehovah thy God from the land of Egypt. I will yet again make thee to dwell in tents, as in the days of the solemn feast. I have also spoken unto the prophets, and I have multiplied visions, and by the ministry of the prophets have I used similitudes. Is Gilead iniquity? They are altogether false. In Gilgal they sacrifice bullocks. Yea, their altars are as heaps in the furrows of the field. And Jacob fled into the field of Aram, and Israel served for a wife, and for a wife he kept sheep. And by a prophet Jehovah brought Israel up out of Egypt, and by a prophet was he preserved. Ephraim hath provoked to anger most bitterly. Therefore shall his blood be left upon him, and his reproach shall his Lord return unto him. End of chapter 12. Chapter 13. When Ephraim spake, there was trembling. He exalted himself in Israel, but when he offended in Baal, he died. And now they sin more and more, and have made them molten images of their silver, even idols according to their own understanding. All of them the work of the craftsmen. They say of them, Let the men that sacrifice kiss the calves. Therefore they shall be as the morning cloud, and as the dew that passeth early away, as the chaff that is driven with the whirlwind out of the threshing floor, and as the smoke out of the chimney. Yet I am Jehovah thy God from the land of Egypt, and thou shalt know no God but me, and besides me there is no Saviour. I did know thee in the wilderness, in the land of great drought. According to their pasture, so were they filled. They were filled, and their heart was exalted. Therefore have they forgotten me. Therefore am I unto them as a lion. As a leopard will I watch by the way. I will meet them as a bear that is bereaved of her whelps, and will rend the call of their heart. And there will I devour them like a lioness. The wild beast shall tear them. It is thy destruction, O Israel, that thou art against me, against thy help. Where now is thy king, that he may save thee in all thy cities, and thy judges of whom thou saidst, Give me a king and princes? I have given thee a king in mine anger, and have taken him away in my wrath. The iniquity of Ephraim is bound up, his sin is laid up in store. The sorrows of a travailing woman shall come upon him. He is an unwise son. For it is time he should not tarry in the place of the breaking forth of children. I will ransom them from the power of Sheol. I will redeem them from death. O death, where are thy plagues? O Sheol, where is thy destruction? Repentance shall be hid from mine eyes. Though he be fruitful among his brethren, an east wind shall come, the breath of Jehovah coming up from the wilderness. And his spring shall become dry, and his fountain shall be dried up. He shall make spoil of the treasure of all goodly vessels. Samaria shall bear her guilt, for she hath rebelled against her God. They shall fall by the sword, their infants shall be dashed in pieces, and their women with child shall be ripped up. End of chapter 13. Chapter 14. O Israel, return unto Jehovah thy God, for thou hast fallen by thine iniquity. Take with you words, and return unto Jehovah. Say unto him, Take away all iniquity, and accept that which is good. So will we render as bullocks the offering of our lips. Assyria shall not save us. We will not ride upon horses, neither will we say any more to the work of our hands, Ye are our gods. For in thee the fatherless findeth mercy. I will heal their backsliding. I will love them freely. For mine anger is turned away from him. I will be as the dew unto Israel. He shall blossom as the lily, and cast forth his roots as Lebanon. His branches shall spread, and his beauty shall be as the olive tree, and his smell as Lebanon. They that dwell under his shadow shall return. They shall revive as the grain, and blossom as the vine. The scent thereof shall be as the wine of Lebanon. Ephraim shall say, What have I to do any more with idols? I have answered, and will regard him. I am like a green fir tree. From me is thy fruit found. Who is wise, that he may understand these things? Prudent, that he may know them? For the ways of Jehovah are right, and the just shall walk in them, but transgressors shall fall therein. End of chapter 14. And also the end of Hosea, American Standard Version.